What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys the updated tier list for the Zul'jin patch. I'll type that out right now. The date is 1/9, so it has actually been a while, even 2017. So it has been a while since I touched this tier list. A lot of things I think have personally changed. So today I'm going to go over those things with you guys and talk about the reasons why I think some things have changed. And after the video, when you guys comment on this video, please make sure to show me what you think and why you think I'm wrong, as a lot of the time when you guys comment and say things, I double think on what I originally had thought, and sometimes things change. So I really like that information. Obviously have a reason and a defense. Do not just say Nazeebo is good because of or say Nazeebo is good because I win a lot. Instead, say Nazeebo is a good pick because I think he's strong against hero XYZ. Right? Start off, I think the one thing that I think let's start off. So I think what stays the same is definitely the Malfurion. I really believe that he is the strongest support still because of his root, but I think there will be a new hero that I add to this tier S, which is going to be Thrall. Even though Thrall, I should put Rag here for now. Even though Thrall's Earthquake has been nerfed and the cooldown has been added, I still think the actual Earthquake itself is too powerful and will win you the game outright if you use it correctly. So because of that, I do believe he's S tier. He's also incredibly strong in lane, and he just dominates the game really throughout. He has a strong early and a really strong late. If you guys want to check out, I will put a Thrall video in the description below. I just uploaded recently about this Thrall in particular, so you guys can always check that out. But moving on to the Warriors, I really think that this all still seems the same. The only change that I might make is to Artanis. I actually believe that Artanis is probably stronger than Zarya at the moment. Alright guys, sorry about that. The internet actually went down and I wasn't able to make the edit, so I had to cut the video. But I would say that I think Artanis is probably better than Zarya at the moment. And I do think because of his ability to get swaps and get picks in Hero League, he's definitely a higher tier hero. The problem with him is that if you don't have one of these heroes, then he really doesn't have a front line, and Artanis isn't a front line. So having him solo tank a lot of the times is going to lead to really bad things. So you have to be careful when you take the Artanis, that you aren't just taking him blindly, and that you do have someone to back him up in the heat of the battle. Great. I think Artanis can even get away if you have a Thrall beside of him, which I need to now fix because of the internet issue. Okay, so perfect. So now let's say Zeratul probably comes down for me. Because of the higher health pools of heroes, I think that he's not the middle of the pack of the tier 1. I'd say he's probably at the end, if not right at the cusp of tier 2. And I also want to say the same for Samuro. Keep moving some of these people down. Samuro has a really hard time dealing with high health pool heroes. For that, I'm going to bring him down. But a character that I've recently really liked playing is Kael'thas. I think Kael'thas pairing with the Diablo, the Muradin, the ETC also has lots of wave clear. Comes up for me, and actually probably would be higher than the Chromie at the moment. Same with even the Illidan. I don't believe the Illidan is that incredible in Hero League. Probably put him right above the Nova. And we could maybe even move Samuro personally down to tier 4. I just really don't like the way he plays in Hero League. He does Samuro things, which is just split push and just kind of create pressure on the map. And yeah, if you flank and get on somebody, you can kill them pretty quickly. Maybe in the lower rankings, Samuro destroys. But again, with my tier list, I really focus on like kill pressure and team fight potential, right? So how well can you aid your team in winning a team fight, and how well can you aid your team in getting a kill? Okay, so with Samro, since you have no CC, you have no anything, you're like requiring your team to line up a bunch of abilities in order for you to deal damage or create pressure so that you can flank and kill somebody, right? Without that, though, you're not going to really do a whole lot. Whereas if you look at someone like, let's say, Zeratul, if your whole team is just throwing bananas at the other team and they're also throwing bananas back, then you come in with an actual blade and start hacking up some monkeys. And in this case, you know, Zeratul is going to do that a lot better than someone like Samro, as you do not require any special assistance. Instead, you can just pick someone in the back and blink out, or VP set up for a big wombo. That's kind of the comparison and the reason why I have Samro so low. I really do not like this hero in Hero League. He's pretty good in competitive and Team League. And honestly, if you're a Samro one trick, I think you can get away with it. But yeah, for the most part, that's I think that's where I'm gonna put him at. The other hero that I'll probably bring up is Jaina. I think Jaina is a lot stronger than she was. She pairs really nicely again with a lot of these heavy, sort of tanky front lines. You know, Artana swap into Jaina is really powerful. Thrall Earthquake into Jaina is really powerful. Bloodlust, we still see it, but Rhaegar is banned a lot, so being able to get Bloodlust is not something we see a lot. Let's make sure that we add the Chromie back as well. And I still do think that Chromie is strong, so we'll put her behind the Rainer. She's much like a hammer. When the other team can't deal with her, she deals a lot. But when they can, then, you know, she's, I guess, she still has a spot, but a lot of these guys will just eat a lot of her damage as they can't get to her. Something that a lot of people have been saying to me about is Abathur, and I'm going to move him down and move Medivh up. I would even say Medivh is going to be tier 1. This hero dominates the higher tiers of Hero League, and you honestly can dominate the bottom tiers as well. He's just a hero that gets all your teammates out of jail free. You can create a lot of pressure. We have like a player like Domo Varian who mains this hero and always catches respect bans. So if there's a character in Hero League that can just catch respect bans that hard, I think that that hero should be tier 1. I will say discretion. If you take this, make sure that you have some mechanical skill. This is a hero that does require a lot of it, and I'm going to place him on my list because I'm looking at the population of like platinum to diamond players. This list cuts off at a low gold tier, and a lot of things here would change if that list was pointed at those players. Medic would be tier 1, you know? Samuro would be way higher. But I'm targeting a player base that I assume that most of the players in the game know how to play. In which case, Medivh would be very good. So we look at the rest of the tier 1s. Li Ming, I think, is still incredible. I would actually put Tychus above her now. Just dominates this whole meta. He's almost a tier S. He's right on the cusp, but he comes up short. Li Ming just forever in my heart gonna be up there. Or build, E build, anything that gets you resets destroys Hero League. A lot of people out kind of under position, and if you get any sort of reset, you can just win a fight right then and there. Vala is still the probably safest, most, I guess, comfortable range hero. Just a little bit of protection from either a Tas or a Zarya, and you have yourself an incredibly strong range. Rag still dominates lane, much like a Zul. He can double soak, he can wave clear, he has great defense. Gul'dan, one good fear wins you the game, great wave clear. Falstad makes tier 1 too because of his global and his gust. And when we look at the supports, we have Brightwing, we have our global, Rhaegar, Bloodlust, Ariel. Going to be the energy generator, right? These are probably my 4 favorite supports in the game at the moment, honestly. So if you can get any one of those 4, you'd probably be in business. You just really need to make sure that your composition pairs nicely with them. If you take Malf, don't take Kerrigan. If you have Rhaegar, don't take Jaina. If you have Brightwing, then you might be able to take Jaina. Or if you have Ariel, then you might be able to take Kerrigan. Something like that, right? Think about your picks and why you're taking them, not just, oh, they're tier 1, I definitely take him now. So we got our tier 2s, we have our Zarya. This is where we have Tass, and I'm going to bring Tass up because I believe he's starting to find his way back into the game with the Zul'jin edition, which I need to place on this list. We have our sort of pseudo supports, you know, our Tyraels, our stun tank 2.0 variant, Chin dominant laner, Rexar dominant laner, Leo counters Diablo. Just niche strong picks that will counter the other team if you pick them correctly. You also have Alarak dominant laner, Zeratul great at ganking, the 2 mages. I think Kael'thas works a little bit better than Jaina, but one good Jaina wombo can be the game. Raynor, since his bug, he might be tier 3. I'm not really sure. I haven't got much time to play without the hyper bug gone, but and then we have Chromie as well. Just really good at just one-shotting backline, one-shotting frontline. It doesn't even matter. She does a lot of damage. So we look at our tier 3s. Arthas may come up. This is another one that I need to, in a week or so, look at. Because Arthas got that armor addition, he might be really strong now against like Vala and stuff like that, right? These heroes, like even Zeratul, heroes that auto attack a lot to get a lot of their damage. Thrall, potentially. With his new armor and the new armor kind of kit, I haven't had much time to play with it, but Arthas could be a pick that comes up. So for science sake, I think I'm gonna move Arthas here and move Leoric down. I still think Leo's good. And again, niche, right? He's good against the Diablo, but that's like it, honestly. He gets destroyed by Tychus, he gets destroyed by Luming. He does okay against Vala. Most of the heroes now are so mobile that taking him is not going to get you anywhere. Look at our tier 3 assassins, Kerrigan. Still one of my favorite heroes to play in Hero League. Just, you know, you combo in a lot of the time and then no one dies and then you're dead because you're overextended. Lunara, still good with Ariel, but that's about it. Illidan, you know, double support. Abacomps works well. Greymane, another one of my favorite heroes to play in HL. I really love his cocktail build, and with the armor addition to him too, maybe he starts to come back. It's hard to say. You would get, you know, 10% more of a window to tank the other person. So he might like beat Thrall heavily now if you're in Worgen form while you're trading. I'm actually going to bring him to the top of this list. I have a high win rate with him in Hero League with the cocktail build, by the way, and you can always check out my builds here. I updated that very recently, like a couple weeks ago, so all of those builds are up to date for the most part. And then we have, you know, Nova, Butcher, some gimmicky heroes. Same with the specialist, Abathur. I still think he's good. Like, if you have a good cat and a good clone target, you can carry games with him a lot of the time because of the soak. Same with the Vikings, you know, triple soaking. Azmodan might be overpowered, his laser build. Because of the movement speed now, he basically moves the same speed that he normally would when he's not lasering. And you can just infinite laser somebody. They have to knock you away now instead of just running away from you. So this could be really huge for Azmodan. But again, I don't really have a lot of time with it for me to just say, oh, it's overpowered. You know, maybe what I can do is put it at the back end of, or the front end of tier 3. But I don't want to go too crazy on that. And then we have Gazlo. Every time I have Gazlo or see him on my team, I just think we've lost. So that's how I feel about him. And then our 2 tier 3 supports are Tyrande and Monk. Tyrande obviously doing well with the ETC and the Diablo and stuff. And Monk's pretty good if they have heavy melee and you're trying to punch him out, you know. Or, you know, second support even with Iron Fist, not too bad. But after they got rid of Relentless, he lost a lot of his spunk. Plus, there's just a lot of other healers that are better than him at the moment. And we have our tier 4s. These are just picks that you probably just shouldn't take. I know there's a lot of players out there that like a noob, and he might have been pushed towards the right direction if they had kept that health buff. But again, I think this is where he needs to be at. There's so many other tanks that tank better than him, that deal more damage than him, that CC better than him. He just does everything a little, right? And you want to just be efficient at something rather than just try to be efficient at everything. Not really what you want when you're drafting. You know, then we have Samurai Tracer, both very gimmicky. You know, I could be fair and bring Tracer up maybe. I just always feel like whenever I see a tracer in my game, they're never hitting their bombs. They're always dying. They're getting chunked out. He has such a low health pool that if you kind of misplay even a little, then you're out of the fight. I don't want to suggest people picking that. If you're one trick, go ahead. But if not, please stay away. Zagara, Murky, you know, these are heroes that you have one tricks out there, but they're never gonna do that much in the game. They're never gonna win you the fight. They're never gonna maybe Murky with Octo, but and then we have Uther just struggling right now. Once they add armor to Uther, I think he could really see a resurgence in play though. So all right, so with all that said, we are now going to add Zul'jin. Honestly, his damage numbers are absurdly high. And the more I've played him, the more I've realized that he just has a really high base AD. Like when he has his passive up before he's low health, he's autoing for a ton with his Q up. And if you draft the correct heroes around him, I do really think that he has a place somewhere in this meta. Right now, I'm going to be very safe, and I'm going to put him at the top of tier 2. Obviously, with more people playing him, we might see more, but I feel safe putting him there, as I think that, you know, he has a really good chance to be tier 1. He has a really good chance to just be where he's at, and he could potentially drop to tier 3. I don't honestly believe that, but I don't want to put him tier 1 and then people are like, why does he think he's tier 1? He might be tier 1 though. He might be, I might be undervaluing him. I mean, I think you could put him at high tier 2 or even low tier 1. His numbers are just absurd. He's critting for like 400 at level 10 with his Q on, and most people at level 10 have like 3,000 health. So 5-6 autos and you've killed the person. The one thing about him that's clunky is his W, but I think as people figure out how to cast the W, he'll be much stronger, right? But I think this list for me is looking pretty clean. I don't really have any other remarks. I will say that there are people that have brought this up to me. In the past, I did a video series called Meta Monday. Those videos are still out there on my channel. Just look under playlist and you'll find them. Did them about a year ago. It's been a while since I've made a new one. And there are maps that I want to talk about. I had a question to you guys. If I were to make that video series again, would you rather me focus on tier lists for said maps while talking about maps, or just focus on the mechanics of the maps and then talk about why we pick heroes for that map, right? So we can talk about heroes that are best on a map and then kind of vaguely talk about why, or talk about why and then give you a few heroes that are really strong. I do want to make that sort of video series again. I think it is valuable information, and you know, I want to bring that to the community. But for now, this is my tier list for Zul'jin. I think most of these picks are very safe, and if you are drafting tier 1, tier S, you should have a above 50% win rate and have no problem making your way towards, you know, your overall, I guess, Grandmaster goal. So again, thank you guys all so much for swinging by this video today. If you did like, please make sure to throw a subscribe on my YouTube channel and a like on this video. Your support has been great so far, so I look forward to this year, and I really hope that I can continue to provide these videos for you guys. Always check me out on Twitch and Twitter. Those are both be located below. I stream pretty much every night. Just hang out, listen to some music, play some Arrow League. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all next video. Cheers.